Most people don't realize they're not simply watching reality unfold. They're shaping it moment by moment through their awareness. Reality isn't something out there waiting to be found. It's something waiting to be observed into existence. That understanding changes everything. Every choice you've made, every experience you've lived, every triumph and heartbreak didn't happen by chance. They emerged from the frequency you were holding and the focus of your attention, not occasionally, but continuously. At the smallest scale of existence, we step into the quantum realm, a space where reality defies common sense. Here, particles aren't solid objects. They exist as waves of potential, infinite possibilities until someone observes them. This is the foundation of the observer effect in NɁI quantum physics, a proven principle showing that when a conscious observer focuses awareness on a quantum system, the wave of possibility collapses into one specific outcome, a single particle, a single location, one choice among endless options. Now, imagine that same mechanism operating in your daily life. What if your focus and emotional attention are constantly collapsing possibilities into the reality you're experiencing? The real question becomes, are you observing on purpose or by default? Your attention is never neutral. It carries a vibration, and that vibration sends a direct command to the field. This explains why affirmations, vision boards, or visualizations sometimes fail. If you look at what you want while holding the vibration of lack, doubt, or desperation, you're still broadcasting, "I don't have it." The field, which mirrors consciousness, reflects that state back to you. It doesn't judge, filter, or choose for you. It simply responds. This is where quantum science meets ancient wisdom. As within, so without. What you seek is seeking you. You don't receive what you want. You receive what you are. Your inner state is always painting the outer canvas. Every time you give focused emotional energy to a basset problem, you reinforce it, observe it, and collapse it into the same version of reality. The same emotions lead to the same actions. The same actions keep you tuned to the same frequency. And that same frequency recreates the same life. Most people remain stuck, not because they're lazy or unworthy, but because they're unconsciously observing the same script again and again. But imagine if you stopped being an unconscious observer and became a deliberate one. Instead of reacting to what is, you could train your mind and body to emotionally embody what could be. This isn't fantasy, it's quantum alignment. It's not about forcing matter to change, it's about becoming magnetically coherent with the version of life that already exists and observing it so clearly, so vividly, and so consistently that the field begins to reflect it back. This isn't wishful thinking. It's vibrational precision. When your heart and mind synchronize, when your inner state broadcasts clarity, gratitude, peace, and power, you become a different observer, tuning into a different reality and collapsing an entirely new world. And this is the part so many people miss. You don't have to fix your life first, or wait until you feel ready. You simply need to begin observing something new from the inside out. So ask yourself, what version of life are you focused on right now? Are you locked onto what is, or are you tuning into what wants to be? The field isn't waiting for better circumstances. It's waiting for a better observer. By now, something in you has already shifted, not just in thought, but in vibration. You're no longer seeing life as fixed, but as responsive. And with that realization comes a responsibility to become the kind of observer the universe can respond to with coherence. Because you don't observe with your eyes, you observe with your entire being. Your focus, emotions, expectations, and inner atmosphere. The quantum field, this invisible ocean of vibrating potential, doesn't respond to what you see. It responds to your energy. We've been taught to believe seeing is believing. Quantum mechanics flips that on its head. At the subatomic level, it's believing and emotionally expecting. That brings the seeing. Your internal frequency determines which version of reality takes form. Think of the universe not as a machine, but as a mirror. One that doesn't reflect what you wish for, but what you broadcast. And when it comes to broadcasting, the most powerful transmitter in your body isn't your brain, it's your heart. Research from the Heart Math Institute shows that the heart's electromagnetic field is up to a mesentems, stronger than the brain's, and it extends several feet beyond your body. This heart field interacts directly with the energy field around you, becoming the signature you send out. When your heart and mind are in coherence, your emotions and thoughts in alignment, you create a clear, steady signal. But when your thoughts say, I'm abundant, I'm love, I'm safe, and your emotions still pulse with fear, doubt, or lack, your signal fragments. The field can't mirror back a clear outcome because your observation is conflicted. This is why thoughts without aligned emotion are powerless. They never reach the quantum layer. It's like trying to tune into a radio station with the antenna unplugged. The real power lies in the vibration beneath the words. This is the essence of what mystics have always taught. Neville Goddard called it the feeling of the wish fulfilled, becoming the observer so fused with your desired state that imagination and reality feel identical. When you embody that, reality reorganizes. Here's what that looks like in practice. Imagine waking up, and before even leaving bed, your mind starts scanning for problems, bills, conflicts, doubts. The moment you emotionally engage, you tune into a Chandla version of reality that matches those worries. Your body doesn't know the difference between imagined threat and actual danger. It triggers stress, floods with cortisol, shortens your breath, and collapses your frequency into survival mode. And survival is blind to possibility. Now imagine instead, you wake up, take a slow breath, place your hand over your heart, and generate gratitude. Not for something you already have, but for something you are choosing to bring into being. You feel peace without reason, trust without evidence. This is quantum alignment in action. When your nervous system feels safe, your frequency expands. And when your frequency expands, the field can finally reflect the reality you desire instead of the reality you fear. Most people live backward, waiting for life to change so they can feel better. But the field doesn't respond to hope. It responds to coherence. You don't wait for clarity, you become clear. You don't wait for love, you embody love. You don't wait for abundance, you tune into it. The moment you do, you become a new observer. One who chooses what becomes real instead of reacting to what already is. The quantum field holds every possibility, but your presence, emotion, and attention decide which one takes shape. So the real question isn't, why hasn't it happened yet, but am I in emotional coherence with the version of reality I want to experience? Not just once in meditation, but consistently enough to collapse it into your timeline. The more consistently you observe from alignment, faster the field can match your vibration. By now, you're not just learning about the quantum field. You're remembering that you are the field, human form. And with that comes the next level of truth. You can't just visit alignment. You must become it. How? Through repetition, not just of thoughts, but of observation. The reality you live is the reflection of the identity you've rehearsed. Every time you run the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and repeat the same internal story, you're rehearsing a self, installing a frequency. And the field, ever neutral and ever responsive, mirrors it back. You are both the observer and the observed. In the loop between the two, your timeline is born. If someone constantly says, "I always struggle with money," not once but daily, with emotion, they aren't just stating a fact, they're stabilizing an identity. The field doesn't distinguish between preference and proclamation, it mirrors the vibration. Even if they write, "I am abundant" in a journal, their dominant state is rooted in lack. The field listens to the frequency, not the words. Neuroscience confirms this. Thoughts and emotions, repeated together, wire into the brain through neuroplasticity, becoming automatic. The body, always listening, starts generating those emotions on its own, even without an external trigger. And that's how people get stuck. This is how people get stuck, not because they lack power, but because they lack conscious repetition. You can't shift for 5 minutes and expect decades of conditioning to dissolve. You must install the new self like software with precision, clarity, and emotion. That's how timelines shift. Your future is already alive in the field, not as fantasy but as frequency. There's a version of you who is grounded, joyful, abundant, and clear, existing in a different energetic code. The question is, what would that version observe? What would they feel, think, and choose again and again? This isn't pretending. It's embodying. Not fake it till you make it, but vibrate it until you become it. Repeated observation creates stability in the field. The field begins to recognize you not as someone wishing, but as someone remembering. You stop chasing the dream and start tuning into the version of you who never lost it. This is where quantum physics meets spiritual discipline. Observation isn't passive, it's an active vibrational instruction. With consistency, observation becomes identity, and identity becomes your timeline. Transformation feels invisible at first because the outer world lags, but the field is already shifting to match your new coherence. You may not see the evidence immediately, but you feel the new self coming online. You respond differently. Your emotions stabilize. Your need for validation fades. Your clarity sharpens. That's the real proof, the inner shift. The outer is only the echo. The more you live as your future self now, the less you seek signs because you are the sign. You become the vibration others can feel. You become the attractor, not the seeker. And every time you choose that identity again, thought, in feeling, in action, you reinforce the signal. Timelines collapse not through force, but through frequency. So ask yourself, what story am I rehearsing? What emotions am I stabilizing? What reality am I continuously observing? Not with my eyes, but with my energy? The quantum field isn't waiting for a perfect version of you. It's waiting for a consistent one. The more you try to force something to happen, the more you delay it. Not as punishment, but because your frequency reveals you don't yet trust. The observer effect. It's not just that focus collapses the quantum wave, it's how you focus, and more importantly, who you are being when you do it. A frantic observer emits noise into the field. An attached observer, desperate for a result, distorts the signal. Their attention scatters in fear. Their intention is polluted by expectation. A calm, coherent, surrendered observer doesn't just collapse potential, they accelerate it. The field isn't magnetized by force, but by resonance. Resonance is clean. It's not desperate. It vibrates, I already am. Not, I hope I will be. Quantum physics, the observer collapses the wave, function, turning infinite probabilities into a single event. But the field mirrors not just the observation, but the emotional tone behind it. When you observe with tension, fear, and urgency, the pure field echoes those same qualities back. Surrender, then, becomes more than a spiritual ideal. It's a quantum strategy. Surrender doesn't mean doing nothing. It means holding a clear intention without emotional interference. The desire is known. Now, you let the field do its part. Forcing is interference. Overthinking is interference. Doubt is interference. When you can observe without needing, you become a COA. Clean signal. And the cleaner the signal, the faster the collapse. It's like tuning a radio. When you hover between two stations, they're static. But when you align fully with one frequency, the signal is crystal clear and reality flows accordingly. Joe Dispenza says, the moment you feel lack, you're back in the old self. That's not just poetic, it's quantum accuracy. The moment you feel you don't have it yet, you're a surya. Frequency separates you from it. Think about the last time you wanted something so badly, it consumed you. You couldn't stop thinking, checking for signs, wondering if it was working. That wasn't observation. That was control. That was energetic gripping. The field doesn't respond well to being controlled. Now remember a time when you wanted something, but you knew it was already yours. You felt it deeply, without needing proof. You trusted the unfolding, and it came, smoothly and naturally. That's the power of observing without attachment. That's quantum surrender in action. You send the signal. You become the signal. Then you let go of the outcome, because the version of you who already has it isn't wondering if it's coming. That version is living it. This is why the observer effect isn't just a scientific, in fact, it's a spiritual path. You're learning to live in the unknown, to walk in mystery without guarantees, to love the future so much that you stop obsessing over it, because you know the field is always listening and you've become someone it wants to respond to. The truth is simple. The more you try, the more you delay. The more you trust, the more you align. And the more you align, the faster you collapse the life already waiting for you. The observer effect is about energy, not effort, about becoming a vibrational match, and then letting go so the field can do its work. You're not separate from it. You're not begging for a gift. You're commanding a frequency, and that frequency becomes reality, not through trying, but through embodiment. So the next time you observe your vision, do it with reverence and clarity, then release it. The version of you who already lives that reality isn't looking for proof. They are the proof. Every day, you're sending signals into the quantum field, not just with words or thoughts, but with your entire being, your identity, your emotions, your embodiment. Manifestation isn't about sending a message, it's about becoming the message. You are the code. Reality doesn't respond to what you visualize or affirm. It mirrors who you are. Everything about you broadcasts data. How you sit, breathe, feel. Expect. That data is your vibrational signature, the only language the field speaks. If your vibration is scattered, part in fear, part in desire, part in lack, you send out static. The field can't reflect that clearly. But when your thoughts, emotions, in harmony, you emit a precise quantum command. You stop passively observing and start instructing the universe to rearrange itself around your state of being. The catch: that code can't be faked. You can't affirm abundance while vibrating in scarcity. You can't tape affirmations over a mind full of doubt and expect the field to be fooled. It's not reading your words, it's reading your frequency. And here's the empowering part. You can rewrite that code in real time. Every breath, every choice, every emotional anchor is either strengthening or distorting your signal. You change it by becoming the person for whom your vision is already normal. This is where practice becomes identity. You don't visualize to see, you visualize to feel. You feel to rewire. You rewire to emit. And you emit to become. Neuroscience shows that neurons that fire together wire together. Repeated states of gratitude, certainty, joy, and coherence reshape your brain, shift your chemistry, and expand your electromagnetic field. Repetition creates resonance, and resonance codes your new reality. Most people stop too soon. They meditate in the morning and panic by lunch. They journal their vision and doubt it by night. Wobbly energy creates wobbly results. The field responds to precision, emotional, mental, and energetic. Your consistency becomes your command. So embody the code. Wake up and breathe like someone already free. Walk into rooms as someone who knows their power. Speak with the calm of one who trusts the timeline. Treat money, love, and opportunity not like missing pieces, but as inevitable outcomes. Feel first. Believe before seeing. Stop looking for proof, because you are the proof. The most magnetic people you've ever met aren't chasing, they're aligned. They've collapsed into their center, and the field reorganizes around them effortlessly. This is your next level. Not reciting the code, but being it. And here's the paradox. When you truly become it, you stop needing to control the outcome. The field knows exactly what to deliver and when. So ask yourself, what is my energy telling the field right now? Is it clear, aligned, coherent? Or is it still broadcasting hesitation? The field isn't waiting for your perfect mood or your best day. It's waiting for your coherence. And coherence begins the moment you decide to become the code. Let that be now. There comes a point on the quantum journey when you stop reaching, striving, or chasing some distant timeline as if it's separate from you, and you realize something profound. What you desire is already entangled with you. The only thing that ever stood between you and it was the vibration of trying. In quantum mechanics, time isn't truly linear. Past, present, and future all exist in superposition as probabilities. Till observed. That means your future isn't waiting somewhere down the Moss road. It's here. You are right now vibrating in a higher dimension, simply waiting for you to tune into it. Not through force or effort, but through frequency, alignment. This changes everything. Because instead of running towards something, you become still, and your frequency draws it to you. You don't chase the timeline. You collapse into it. This is the hidden code behind every quantum leap, every sudden breakthrough, every manifestation that feels like magic. It doesn't happen because the universe finally allows. It happens because for a moment you became the version of yourself who could hold it. You matched the vibration. You became the timeline. And reality had no choice but to mirror it back. Most people live in the gap between who they are and what they want. That gap is made of resistance, fear, unworthiness, impatience, and overthinking. The more they focus on the distance between here and there, the wider it becomes, because focus creates reality. When you stare at the absence, you collapse the timeline of lack. But when you shift inward, when you feel it is already done, when your nervous system relaxes into the new frequency, when you stop needing and start being, that gap collapses. Time bends. The field rearranges. You step into the life that was always meant for you. This is the ultimate quantum secret. You're not creating something new. You're remembering who you already are. You've already lived this future in the field of infinite potential. That's why you can see it, feel it, and desire it so vividly. You're receiving echoes from a version of you that exists in an expanded state. All that's left is to let that version lead. You do that by surrendering the timeline, releasing the mental deadlines, stopping the need for it to happen a certain way, letting go of the idea that proof is what grants you peace. You start living, truly living, as if the shift has already occurred. Not because you're pretending, but because you've felt it so deeply, so consistently, that your body believes it. And once the body believes, the field obeys. The quantum field isn't testing you, it's reflecting you. Every delay is not punishment, but an invitation to align more deeply. When you're fully aligned, when your energy is undeniable, manifestation becomes inevitable. The future isn't far away. It's here. The leap isn't long. It's internal. And the miracle isn't outside of you, it is you. So as we close this, step into stillness. Breathe. Feel. Tune in. Because right here, in this breath, is your portal. The version of you who holds it all is only a frequency away. This is not just content, it's connection. This is remembrance. This is how we shift together.